Every real estate career starts the same way. In the beginning, the biggest challenge isn't managing clients, it's finding them. Agents spend months, sometimes years, learning how to prospect, network, build relationships, and close their first deals. Every new client feels like momentum. Every contract feels like progress. And slowly, something starts to change. The business begins to grow. More calls come in, more listings appear. Your calendar fills up. Your email inbox starts to look like a battlefield. At first, it feels exciting, like everything you worked for is finally happening. But eventually, that excitement turns into something else: pressure. You're answering texts late at night. You're coordinating inspections between meetings. You're juggling multiple transactions while trying to stay ahead of the next client conversation. And at some point, usually when the workload starts spilling into every corner of your life, you start asking the same question every growing real estate agent eventually asks. Should I hire someone? Maybe it's an assistant. Maybe it's a partner. Maybe it's the beginning of a full team. But here's the reality most agents don't hear often enough. Hiring too early can damage your business just as much as hiring too late. Because growth in real estate isn't about how many people you add around you. It's about understanding when the numbers actually support the move. And that decision changes dramatically depending on where you are in your business. So let's walk through it. Imagine an agent who is producing under $300,000 in gross commission income. At this stage, something important is already true. They've proven they can generate business. They know how to build relationships. They know how to find clients. They know how to get deals done. But the business is still fragile because at this level, margins matter a lot. Hiring even a basic assistant can easily cost around $60,000 per year when you account for salary, taxes, and additional expenses. That means a single hire could absorb a massive portion of an agent's annual income. And that's where many agents make their first big mistake. They assume the stress they're feeling means they need help. But most of the time, the problem isn't actually manpower, it's structure. Early in your career, inefficiency is incredibly common. Your systems aren't fully developed yet. Your workflows change from transaction to transaction. You're still figuring out how to organize your business. And when you add another person into that environment, something interesting happens. You don't fix the inefficiencies, you multiply them. Instead of solving problems, you've simply made them more expensive. At this stage, the smartest move usually isn't hiring, it's tightening your systems. That means creating clear processes for managing transactions, using templates for emails and client communication, automating repetitive tasks wherever possible. Many agents in this stage also benefit from using transaction coordinators on a per-deal basis. Instead of paying a full salary, you pay only when a deal closes. It's flexible, it's efficient, and it protects your margins while you continue building your business. Because before you hire people, you need something more important: control over your time. Now, let's imagine a different agent. They're producing somewhere between $300,000 and $600,000 in gross commission income. At this stage, something shifts. The business isn't fragile anymore. It's busy, consistently busy. Opportunities are coming in regularly. Referrals are increasing. Listings are stacking up. And the agent starts feeling something new: capacity pressure. Not the chaos of early growth, but the pressure of having more opportunity than time. And this is usually where the first strategic hire makes sense. But there's an important rule here. You don't hire an assistant to make your life feel easier. You hire an assistant to buy back your time. A strong operations assistant should handle things like scheduling appointments, managing listing logistics, updating the CRM, tracking paperwork and deadlines, coordinating marketing materials, managing client gifting systems, and keeping transactions organized. In other words, their job is to remove friction from your daily workflow. Because the most valuable thing a high-performing agent can do is spend time where revenue actually happens, with clients, with prospects, in negotiations, in pricing strategy conversations, in relationship building. There's a simple benchmark that helps clarify this stage. If you hire an assistant, you should be spending at least 70% of your time in front of clients or potential clients. If you're still buried in administrative work after hiring someone, something went wrong. Either the role wasn't defined clearly, or the delegation wasn't executed properly. And financially, the math has to work too. If an assistant costs $70,000 annually, the goal isn't to hope they help your business grow. The goal is for the additional capacity they create to produce at least double that amount in additional revenue. Growth should fund itself. Once an agent moves into the $600,000 to $1 million range, the decisions become much more complicated. This is where many agents start thinking about building a team or bringing on a partner. But that instinct can sometimes be misleading. Because at this stage, the real question isn't simply whether you need help, it's what kind of problem you're actually solving. And in most cases, the problem falls into one of two categories: capacity or skill. Capacity problems are straightforward. You have more clients than you can realistically service on your own. Deals are piling up. Showings are overlapping. Follow-ups are slipping. In that case, bringing in a junior agent or a buyer's agent might make sense. But skill problems look very different. Sometimes an agent reaches a ceiling not because they're overwhelmed, but because they're avoiding certain parts of the business. Maybe they struggle with pricing strategy. Maybe they avoid prospecting. Maybe they hesitate to pursue listings. In those situations, adding a partner won't solve the underlying problem. It simply hides it. Partnerships, when they're not structured carefully, can create even bigger complications. Two agents may get along personally. They may respect each other's work. But if roles aren't clearly defined, tension almost always follows. One partner may feel like they're generating more business. The other may feel like they're carrying more operational responsibility. Without clear agreements about responsibilities, compensation, and decision-making authority, partnerships can unravel quickly. The partnerships that succeed are the ones that start with radical clarity. Each person understands exactly what they're responsible for. Revenue splits reflect actual contributions, and every major decision has a defined structure. When that clarity exists, partnerships can dramatically accelerate growth. But without it, they often create more problems than they solve. Once an agent crosses the $1 million mark in gross commission income, the nature of the business changes again. At this level, success is no longer about hustle. It's about infrastructure. You're no longer just operating as an individual agent. You're running a business. And businesses need systems. They need clear processes. They need defined roles. This is when agents start thinking about specialized positions like operations leaders, marketing directors, or inside sales support. But even at this level, the same principle applies. Every hire should solve a specific bottleneck. If client follow-up is inconsistent, sales support might be the solution. If listing marketing feels weak, a stronger branding and marketing operation might be needed. If managing people and transactions is becoming overwhelming, an operations leader could bring structure and clarity. The biggest mistake at this stage isn't under-hiring. It's hiring without structure. Because when you add people without building processes first, complexity grows faster than revenue. And complexity creates chaos. The goal of a well-structured business isn't to feel bigger, it's to feel calmer. There's one more path that often gets overlooked in conversations about growth: staying solo. In an industry that constantly celebrates bigger teams and larger operations, It's easy to assume that scaling always means expanding, but that's not necessarily true. There are many agents consistently earning between $500,000 and $700,000 per year while maintaining very lean operations. They rely on strong systems. They keep overhead low. They focus on profitability and quality of life rather than size. And in many cases, if their brokerage provides strong support across marketing, compliance, and operations, they already have the leverage they need without building it internally. For some agents, managing people simply isn't the goal. Freedom is. And that's a completely valid strategy. Because more manpower doesn't automatically create more wealth. Sometimes it just creates more management. Before hiring anyone or bringing on a partner, it's worth asking a few simple questions. What problem am I actually trying to solve? Will this decision directly increase revenue or efficiency? Can my current production sustain this long term? And most importantly, am I building leverage or chasing the appearance of growth? Because growth in real estate isn't about looking bigger. It's about building a business that operates stronger, clearer, and more efficiently over time. The right hire unlocks momentum. The wrong hire creates pressure. And the agents who scale the smartest aren't the ones moving the fastest. They're the ones who understand the math behind every decision.